Hello, and welcome to our podcast English with Leo and Stella. I'm Leo, and I'm really excited that you're here with us today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stella, and we're both so happy to be with you for another episode. Whether this is your first time listening or you've been with us for a while, we want to say a big thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you. We know that learning English can sometimes feel difficult or even a little scary, but just by listening to this podcast, you're already doing something great for your English. So give yourself a little smile. You're moving forward.
That's right. And today, we're talking about something that many learners ask us about all the time: how to speak English better. Maybe you understand English when you read it or listen to it, but when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank or you feel nervous. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone.
Yes, a lot of learners feel that way. Speaking can be the hardest part of learning a language, but the good news is you can get better at it. And today, we're going to talk about how. We'll help you understand why speaking is such an important part of language learning, and we'll share some simple and useful tips that anyone can use to improve.
Exactly. This episode is for everyone. It doesn't matter if you are a beginner, intermediate, or advanced learner. Our goal is to help you feel more confident and comfortable when speaking English. We're going to take it step by step, and we'll make sure to use clear and easy words so everyone can understand.
We'll talk about some of the most common problems people have when they try to speak English, like being afraid of making mistakes, not knowing what to say, or feeling shy. And we'll also share some fun ways to practice, even if you don't have anyone to speak with right now.
Yes, and we'll also give you ideas that you can start using today. You'll learn how to practice English speaking in small, simple ways that fit into your daily life. You don't need a classroom or a teacher to start speaking more. You just need a little time, a little courage, and the right mindset.
And of course, you can use this podcast as part of your practice. You can repeat after us, answer our questions out loud, or even pause the episode and try speaking on your own. It's okay to talk to yourself in English. Actually, it's a great way to improve.
So if you've been waiting for the right time to start working on your speaking skills, this is it. We're going to guide you through it, and we'll do it together. Are you ready to begin?
I'm ready, Stella. Let's help our listeners take their English speaking to the next level. So, let's get started. All right, so now that we've introduced the topic, let's talk about something very important. Why speaking English really matters when you're learning the language. A lot of people focus only on reading or grammar, and while those are also important, speaking is one of the most powerful skills you can build.
Yes, speaking helps you connect all parts of your language learning. When you speak, you're not just using words, you're also using grammar, vocabulary, listening, and even your thinking skills all at the same time. It brings everything together. That's why speaking is such a big part of becoming fluent.
Exactly. You might already know many English words. You might even understand English when you read or hear it. But speaking is different. It's active. It's real. When you speak, you don't have time to stop and think about every word. You have to try, even if it's not perfect. And that's how you grow.
And I want to say something important here. You don't need to speak perfectly to be a good English speaker. What really matters is that you try. The more you speak, the more confident you feel. And the more confident you feel, the more you speak. It becomes a circle of progress.
Yes, confidence is a big part of it. When you practice speaking, even for a few minutes a day, you start to feel more comfortable with the language. You stop being afraid of mistakes. You start to speak more naturally. That's how fluency begins. Not with big, complicated sentences, but with small, simple steps every day.
And speaking English can really help you in real-life situations. For example, imagine you're traveling to another country, maybe to the United States, Canada, or the UK. Most likely, you will need to speak English at the airport, at the hotel, in a restaurant, or when asking for directions.
Yes, and speaking English is also helpful if you want to get a better job. Many companies look for people who can speak English because it's used in business, technology, science, and many other fields around the world. When you can speak English, you open more doors for yourself in your career.
Another great reason to speak English is to meet new people. You can make friends from different countries. You can join online groups or travel and connect with people in real life. Speaking is the key to communication. It helps you share your ideas, your thoughts, and your feelings.
And it makes learning more fun, too. When you can speak, you can join conversations, ask questions, and talk about things you care about. You're not just learning English, you're using it to live your life, to explore, and to grow as a person.
That's so true. Sometimes learners wait until they feel ready to speak. But guess what? You become ready by speaking. You don't need to wait until your English is perfect. The perfect time to speak is now, right where you are.
So, if you've been focusing only on reading and writing, we encourage you to start giving more attention to speaking. Even a little speaking practice each day can make a big difference. It builds your confidence, improves your fluency, and helps you feel more connected to the language.
Just remember this. The goal is not to sound like a native speaker. The goal is to communicate, to be able to express yourself, understand others, and enjoy the process of learning. Every time you speak, you're moving one step closer to that goal.
So now that we've talked about why speaking is so important, let's move on to the next part of the episode. We're going to talk about the common problems English learners face when they try to speak, and more importantly, how to overcome them.
So now that we've talked about why speaking is so important, let's move on to the next part of the episode. We're going to talk about the common problems English learners face when they try to speak, and more importantly, how to overcome them.
Okay, now let's talk about something really important, something every English learner experiences at some point. Let's talk about the challenges. The truth is, speaking English can be hard sometimes, and that's okay. It's completely normal to face problems, especially in the beginning.
Yes, and today we want to talk about the most common problems that learners face when trying to speak English. If you've ever felt nervous or stuck when trying to speak, trust us, you're not alone. Many people around the world feel the same way.
Let's start with one of the biggest challenges, the fear of making mistakes. This one is very common. Many learners worry that if they say something wrong, people will laugh at them, or they will feel embarrassed. So instead of speaking, they stay quiet.
Yes, and we totally understand that feeling. But here's the truth. Everyone makes mistakes when learning a language. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. Mistakes are not bad. They're part of the learning process. In fact, every mistake you make is a chance to learn something new.
Exactly. And think about this. If you never make a mistake, it probably means you're not trying enough. So don't be afraid. Be proud that you're trying to speak a new language. That takes courage, and that's something to feel good about.
The second challenge is something many learners feel too: shyness or a lack of confidence. Maybe you're a quiet person, or maybe you feel nervous when people are watching or listening to you speak. You might think, what if I sound silly? Or, what if they don't understand me?
Yes, we hear that a lot. But the only way to become more confident is to practice speaking, even when it feels uncomfortable. Confidence doesn't appear overnight. It grows little by little each time you try. And trust me, the more you speak, the easier it gets.
That's right. Start small. Speak a few words out loud when you're alone. Repeat after a podcast or a video. Then maybe try saying full sentences. Step by step, your confidence will grow. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be real.
The third challenge many people face is that they just don't have enough chances to practice speaking. Maybe you don't have anyone to talk to in English, or maybe you live in a place where people don't speak English at all. That can make things difficult.
Yes, but the good news is, you can still practice. You can talk to yourself, describe your day, or speak out loud while doing everyday things. You can also join online speaking groups, find a language partner, or use language exchange apps. These small things can really help.
Also, listening and speaking go together. When you listen to English, like this podcast, you can pause and repeat what you hear. Try to copy the rhythm, the sounds, even the way we ask questions. That's a great way to build your speaking skills even when you're alone.
Now, the last big challenge is one many people face: not knowing enough grammar or vocabulary. Sometimes, learners feel like they can't speak because they don't know the right words, or they're afraid of using the wrong grammar.
That's totally normal. But here's a helpful thought. You don't need to know every word or every grammar rule to speak English well. You can still communicate with simple words. Even short, basic sentences can help you express your ideas.
Yes, and when you don't know a word, try to explain it in another way. Use your hands, use your face, or use easier words. Language is about communication, not perfection. The goal is to be understood, not to be perfect.
So if you've faced any of these challenges, fear, shyness, no speaking partner, or limited vocabulary, remember, these are common, and they can all be solved. You're not the only one, and you are definitely not doing it wrong.
We're here to help you through those challenges. And in the next part of this episode, we're going to share practical tips you can start using today to improve your English speaking step by step.
Yes, these are real tips that actually work. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the most useful part of this episode.
Now we've talked about the common challenges. Let's get to the part you've probably been waiting for: the solutions. How can you actually start improving your English speaking skills? What can you do today, even if you're learning on your own?
Yes, this is the heart of the episode. Our 6 simple but powerful tips to help you speak English better. These are things anyone can do, no matter your level, no matter where you live. Tip number 1 is simple. Practice speaking every day, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. The key is consistency. You don't need to wait for a class or a teacher. You can start speaking on your own.
Exactly. You can talk to yourself while doing daily tasks. For example, when you're brushing your teeth, say, "I'm brushing my teeth now. After this, I'll make breakfast." It might feel a little strange at first, but it really helps your brain get used to thinking in English.
And if you have a friend who's also learning English, even better. You can call them or text them and agree to speak English for just a few minutes each day. Keep it simple. Talk about your day, the weather, or what you ate. Anything works.
Tip number 2 is listen and repeat. This is one of my favorite ways to practice. You can listen to podcasts, songs, movies, or YouTube videos in English. Then try repeating what you hear. Try to match the tone and rhythm.
This is also called the shadowing technique. That means you listen to a sentence, then repeat it right away, almost like an echo. It helps you improve pronunciation, speaking speed, and listening skills, all at once.
You can start with short clips, just 10 or 15 seconds, and say them out loud. Repeat them a few times. Don't worry about getting every word perfect. Focus on the sound and flow.
Tip number 3 is to learn useful phrases, not just single words. It's great to learn vocabulary, but when you speak, you need phrases. Real people speak in full sentences, not just lists of words.
For example, instead of just learning the word coffee, try to learn full phrases like, "Can I have a cup of coffee, please?" Or, "I like drinking coffee in the morning." When you practice full phrases, it becomes easier to speak naturally.
Yes, and phrases also help with grammar. You don't have to think about the grammar rules every time. You just remember the whole phrase and say it. It saves time and makes your speech smoother.
Tip number 4 is a really helpful one. Record yourself speaking. It might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but trust me, it's one of the best ways to improve.
When you record yourself, you can listen later and hear what you said well and what you want to improve. Maybe you said runned instead of ran, or maybe your pronunciation wasn't clear. That's okay. Noticing those things helps you grow.
And over time, when you listen to older recordings, you'll see your progress. That's a great motivation boost. You'll hear how far you've come.
Tip number 5 is to join English speaking groups or find a language exchange partner. Speaking with real people is one of the best ways to learn.
If you don't have English-speaking friends nearby, that's okay. There are many online options now. You can join Facebook groups, conversation clubs, or use language exchange apps like Tandem, HelloTalk, or Speaky.
The idea is to speak with someone regularly. You can help them with your native language, and they help you with English. It's free, friendly, and really effective.
And the more you do it, the more confident you become. You'll also hear how people really talk in daily life, not just textbook English.
And finally, tip number 6. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. This is maybe the most important tip of all. Many people wait until they feel ready. But the truth is, you learn by doing.
Yes, mistakes are not the enemy. They are your teacher. When you make a mistake and someone corrects you, that's a learning moment. And when no one corrects you but you realize it later, that's still learning.
If a child is learning to speak, we don't laugh when they say "goed" instead of "went." We smile and gently correct them. So be kind to yourself. Allow yourself to speak, even if it's not perfect. That's how you get better.
So remember, speaking every day, listening and repeating, learning phrases, recording yourself, joining speaking groups, and being brave about mistakes. These are the 6 steps that can take your English speaking to the next level.
And you don't need to do them all at once. Just pick 1 or 2 and try them today. Then slowly add more as you feel comfortable. The most important thing is to keep going.
You're already doing a great job by listening to this podcast. So give yourself credit and let's keep learning together.
Okay, so we've given you 6 practical tips to improve your speaking. But now, let's make it even more fun. Because, let's be honest, learning is always better when you enjoy it.
Exactly. So in this part, we want to share fun and easy ways to practice your English speaking every day, without stress, without pressure, and without needing a classroom.
Let's start with something super simple but powerful. Talking about your day in English. Just describe what you're doing, what you did, or what you're going to do. You don't need anyone to listen. Just speak out loud to yourself.
For example, you wake up in the morning and say, "Good morning, I just woke up. Now I'm going to brush my teeth. Then I'll have breakfast. Maybe I'll make some eggs." That's it. You're using English in real life, and your brain is learning to think in English step by step.
And you can do this anytime, when you're cooking, walking, cleaning, or before you go to bed. Just talk to yourself in English. Even 5 minutes a day makes a big difference over time.
Another easy idea is to describe what you see around you. Look around your room or outside the window and say what you see. You can say, "I see a red chair. There's a cat on the balcony. The sky is blue and sunny today."
This helps you build vocabulary, practice speaking naturally, and feel more confident. You don't need fancy sentences. Just say what you see. You can even do this while you're walking in the street. Quietly to yourself, of course.
And here's something fun you can try. Role play different situations. Pretend you're ordering food at a restaurant. You can say, "Hi, I'd like a hamburger and a glass of water, please." Or pretend you're booking a train ticket. "Hi, I'd like 1 ticket to London for tomorrow morning."
Yes, role plays are amazing because they prepare you for real-life situations. If you ever travel or speak with native speakers, you'll already know what to say. You can even play both roles yourself, be the customer and the waiter. It may feel silly, but it works.
And here's another fun one. Talk to your voice assistant in English. If you have a phone with Google Assistant, Siri, or Alexa, try asking questions in English like, "What's the weather today?" or "Play my favorite music."
It's a great way to practice clear speaking, and you'll see how much your pronunciation improves when the assistant starts understanding you better. You can also use language apps that use voice features. Some apps let you speak and then give you feedback on your pronunciation.
And speaking of apps, there are games, quizzes, and challenges in many English learning apps that are designed to make speaking fun. Try apps like ELSA Speak, Duolingo, or Cake. Many of them let you repeat short dialogues, listen to real English, and speak out loud as part of the lesson.
The main idea here is to make speaking part of your daily routine, but not in a boring way. You can turn your practice into something enjoyable. Just like people exercise their bodies, you can exercise your speaking muscles a little each day and enjoy it too.
And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is to get comfortable with your voice in English. You're building a new habit, not performing on a stage.
Let's go over the 4 fun practice ideas we shared again. 1. Talk about your day in English. 2. Describe what you see around you. 3. Try role plays like ordering food or asking for help. 4. Use voice assistants and apps to practice speaking.
Try one today, try two tomorrow. Mix them into your routine. You'll start to notice that speaking English becomes easier and more natural, and you'll even start enjoying it more than you expected.
All right. We hope these ideas inspire you to have more fun while practicing. Coming up next, we're going to give you a little motivation boost, because every language journey needs some encouragement. You're doing great so far, and we want to help you keep going strong.
So before we end this episode, we want to talk about something that every English learner needs: motivation and encouragement. Because learning a language isn't just about grammar or vocabulary, it's also about staying positive and believing in yourself.
That's right. Sometimes you'll feel excited about learning English, but other times you might feel tired, stuck, or even frustrated. And that's okay. Every learner feels that way sometimes. You're not alone.
The most important thing to remember is this: every learner improves step by step. Learning English is not a race, it's more like a journey. Sometimes you move fast, sometimes you move slowly, and sometimes you stop and rest. But as long as you keep going, you're getting better.
Let me tell you something true and simple. You don't have to be perfect to be proud of yourself. Maybe today you learned one new word. Maybe you spoke English for just 2 minutes. That's still progress. That's still a win. Every small step matters.
Yes! And sometimes we forget how far we've come. Think back to when you first started learning English. Maybe you couldn't understand anything at all. And now, you're listening to a whole podcast in English. That's a huge achievement. You should be proud of that.
And here's another thing. Be patient with yourself. Learning a language takes time. There will be days when your words don't come out the way you want. There will be days when you forget things. And there will be days when everything feels difficult.
But those days are part of the process. You are still learning, even when it feels hard. You are still growing, even when you can't see the results right away. Trust the process. Your effort is never wasted.
One thing that really helps is to celebrate small wins. Don't wait until you're fluent to feel good. Celebrate when you speak a full sentence without stopping. Celebrate when you understand a conversation. Celebrate when you correct your own mistake. These moments are important.
And remember, learning English doesn't mean you have to give up your first language or your culture. You're not replacing who you are. You're adding something new to who you are. You're becoming someone who can connect with more people, who can see more of the world, and who can share their ideas in a whole new way.
That's so beautifully said, Stella. And to all our listeners, we know learning English isn't always easy, but it's possible. And you are already doing something amazing. Just by listening to this podcast, you're taking a step forward.
So, if no one has told you this today, let us say it clearly. You are doing a great job. You're learning, you're growing, and you're getting better. Keep going. Keep practicing. Keep speaking.
And don't forget, you're not alone on this journey. There are millions of learners around the world who are just like you. And we're here with you too, every step of the way.
So stay patient, stay positive, and most importantly, believe in yourself. Your English doesn't need to be perfect to be powerful. Every word you speak in English is proof that you're learning. And that's something to be proud of.
All right, that brings us to the end of our motivation section. In just a moment, we'll wrap up the episode with a short recap and a goodbye. But before that, take a deep breath and say this with us out loud. I'm learning. I'm improving. I can do this.
That's right, and you really can.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope you found it helpful, encouraging, and most of all, easy to understand and fun to listen to.
Yes. Before we say goodbye, let's do a quick recap of what we talked about today. We started by talking about why speaking English is so important, not just for learning the language, but for using it in real life. Whether it's for travel, work, or making new friends, speaking helps you connect with the world.
Then we talked about the common challenges learners face when trying to speak, like fear of making mistakes, feeling shy, not having people to practice with, or struggling with grammar and vocabulary. And we reminded you, those challenges are normal, and they can be overcome.
After that, we shared our favorite part, the 6 practical tips to help you improve. Let's quickly name them again. Practice speaking every day, even just a little. Listen and repeat using podcasts or videos. Learn useful phrases, not just words. Record yourself speaking and review it. Join speaking groups or find a language exchange partner. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They help you grow.
We also shared some fun and easy practice ideas, like talking about your day in English, describing what you see, doing little role plays, and even talking to your voice assistant. All of these can be done anytime, anywhere, even if you're alone.
And of course, we finished with a message we hope stays in your heart. You are learning, step by step. Be patient with yourself, keep going, and celebrate every small success. You are doing much better than you think.
Now, here's what we want you to do. Try one of the tips today. Don't wait for the perfect time. Maybe right after this episode, talk to yourself for 1 minute in English. Or choose one phrase to practice. Just one small step. That's all it takes to keep moving forward.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please do us a small favor. It means a lot to us. Follow the podcast so you don't miss the next episodes. Rate it so more learners like you can find it. And if you think someone you know would enjoy this too, share it with them.
We really believe in building a global community of English learners, people like you who want to grow and support each other. So thank you for being a part of this with us.
We'll be back soon with another episode full of simple tips, friendly conversations, and useful English for everyday life. Until then, keep listening, keep speaking, and most of all, keep believing in yourself.
Thanks again for listening. And remember, you're doing amazing.
Take care, keep practicing, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye for now. Leo, bye.